If you're coming to investing because you want money to make more money really fast, I've got some bad news. The stuff that makes you sustainably wealthy is usually slow, boring, and not something you can flex on social media. It does not give you a rush every day. It gives you peace every month. Beginners ask this all the time. What should I buy to profit quickly? Which stock is about to pop? Which crypto is about to take off? But the right question is this. How do I make sure I do not get knocked out of the game the first time I take a hit? Because investing is not a sprint where the fastest person wins a short stretch. Investing is a long game of who is still standing after 10 years, 20 years. I met Daniel at a casual get-together with friends. Daniel works a regular job, and every payday he feels like he is still short. Rent, insurance, food, gas, everything just pulls on his money. Daniel hears a story online about someone turning a few $1,000s into a few tens of thousands of dollars. So Daniel decides to speed things up. Daniel uses a credit card, pulls extra cash, and throws it into a hot trade everyone is talking about. The first few weeks, Daniel is buzzing. Then in week 3, the market flips. Price drops. Daniel panics. Daniel sells. He loses money. But the worst pain is not the loss. The worst pain is that Daniel still has credit card debt with a sky-high annual percentage rate. So now Daniel loses principal and the interest crushes him every month. Daniel did not lose because he picked the wrong trade. Daniel lost because he put himself in a situation where one slip was enough to break him. The investing secret beginners hate hearing is this. Before you think about returns, think about resilience. You do not need the smartest strategy. You need a strategy you can stick with when things get ugly, because ugly days will come. Not because you are bad at this, but because life always has rough stretches. So how do you avoid falling into Daniel's trap? You do one simple thing that most people refuse to do. You create breathing room. Breathing room is a chunk of money so that when something happens, you do not have to fire sell what you are investing in. Breathing room keeps a temporary dip from turning into a permanent disaster. If you have credit card debt with a high annual percentage rate, your first priority usually is not hunting for the next winning play. Your first priority is putting out that interest rate fire, because earning 10% a year while paying 20-something% a year is like swimming upstream. Even if you are strong, you will get exhausted. The practical move is this. Call and ask if they can lower your interest rate. Focus on paying off the balance with the highest interest first. While you do that, keep a small minimum in a savings account so you do not have to swipe the card when your car breaks down, when your kid gets sick, or when a surprise bill shows up. Next, the second secret beginners also hate hearing. Time matters more than intelligence. People like to think a great investor is someone who picks the perfect thing. But a lot of wealthy people got there because they started early. They stayed consistent and they did not quit. They do not need to be right all the time. They just need enough patience to let time do the heaviest lifting. I know Emily. Office job, packed schedule, and a little kid at home. Emily does not have time to stare at price charts. Emily also has zero interest in arguing every day about whether the news is good or bad. But Emily does something very boring. The moment her paycheck hits, Emily automatically moves a portion into her company retirement plan. If her company matches contributions, Emily makes sure she contributes at least enough to get the full match. Emily also automatically moves another small portion into savings. It does not have to be big, it just has to be consistent. The first 2 years, Emily feels nothing special. No huge wins, no fireworks. But then one day, Emily looks back and realizes something. She is not scared anymore when the car needs repairs. She is not stressed when an unexpected medical bill shows up. And most importantly, when the market drops hard, Emily does not have to sell. She can still live off her paycheck and her savings. So Emily has the right to wait. The person who can wait usually wins. The person who is forced to act in panic usually loses. If you're listening right now and this feels like it is hitting real life, subscribe to Wealth Wisdom Notes, because I'm going to keep making videos that help you build a money system that is solid like a house foundation, not chasing daily coin flip luck. Third secret, rich is not what you show off. Rich is what you keep. Beginners often get hypnotized by the outside. A new car, a new watch, a new trip. Those things are easy to see. And because they are easy to see, your brain automatically labels that as wealth. But the truth can be the opposite. Some people look very successful, but their checking account is empty, their credit cards are maxed, and if they lose their job for a few weeks, the dominoes start falling. I once saw Jordan lease a very nice car and pay a monthly bill like it was fixed forever. Jordan said it straight. I need this car so people respect me. Jordan posts photos on social media, friends hype it up, but then Jordan has to work overtime non-stop just to carry the car payment, the insurance, and the rent. Jordan has money, but no time. Jordan has nice stuff, but no freedom to choose. And that is the most expensive price of all. Here is a definition of rich I want you to remember. Rich is having options. You can take time off when you need it. You can switch jobs when the environment is toxic. You can say no to an exploitative contract. You can spend time with your family without feeling bills breathing down your neck. That is what money can buy you, if you use it the right way. So if you want to invest smart, practice a habit that sounds backwards. When your income goes up, do not rush to upgrade your lifestyle at the same speed. Upgrade the percentage you keep first. Specifically, when you get a raise, increase the automatic transfers to savings and retirement first. Then use what is left to improve your life. If you do it the other way around, you will look rich in photos but be broke in reality. And here's the part that annoys beginners the most. Saving is not because you are scared. Saving is because you respect how unpredictable life is. You do not need to wait for a clear goal before you save, because many of the most important things in life do not send you a calendar invite. An unexpected doctor visit. A car that breaks at the worst possible time. A stretch where you need to step away to care for a loved one. If you only prepare for what you can predict, you are under-preparing. But do not misunderstand me. I am not telling you to hoard cash and never invest. I am talking about balance so you can sleep well. If you manage money in a way that helps you sleep, you can stay on the road for the long haul. If you invest in a way that makes you jump every time you open your phone, sooner or later you will remove yourself from the game, even if the strategy looks great on paper. By now, you might be seeing a different picture. Investing does not start with picking what to buy. Investing starts with building a foundation so you do not get knocked over. And when that foundation is solid, you step into the next level. That level is a secret that sounds weird. You have to accept that you will be wrong many times and still win big, but only if you know how to be wrong without breaking. You have to accept that you will be wrong many times and still win big, but only if you know how to be wrong without breaking. To do that, you need a rule that sounds extremely uncomfortable. Never put a single investing decision in a position where it can destroy your entire financial life. It sounds obvious, but beginners often do the opposite. They dump all their savings into one hot ticker. They borrow on credit cards. They even borrow from their broker to buy more, and they turn normal market volatility into a personal catastrophe. Ryan did that once. Ryan got an end-of-year bonus of about $3,000. Instead of spreading it out and investing steadily, Ryan wanted to double it. Ryan picked a company everybody was talking about and bought a big chunk in one shot. The price rises for a few days, and Ryan feels brilliant. Then, bad news hits. The price drops like an elevator with a snapped cable. Ryan panics and sells immediately to cut the loss. The problem is, the price bounces back later. Ryan sells at the bottom. Not because Ryan is stupid, because Ryan bet too big and his brain could not handle the pressure. When fear pulls the trigger, logic leaves the room. What's the lesson here? It is not a lesson about which ticker to pick. The lesson is position sizing. When one decision is only a small slice of your total net worth, you can still sleep, you can stay calm, and you have time to think. But when you go all in, you are not making decisions anymore. You are just reacting. So how do you get things wrong without breaking? You set limits for each position. You do not let one single stock or one single cryptocurrency take up too much of your portfolio. You prioritize things that are already diversified, like funds that spread across many large and small companies in the United States stock market. When you buy a basket instead of one egg, you reduce the risk of everything cracking from one slip. And here's the next secret beginners also hate hearing. Your returns do not come only from what you buy. They come from not letting fees quietly eat you alive. Fees are like a tiny leak in a boat. It looks small, but if you go far enough, you sink. Chris once had an advisor manage his entire account. The management fee sounded tiny, just 1% per year. 1% sounds like nothing. But Chris did not notice that it gets deducted steadily, year after year, on a balance that keeps getting bigger. 10 years later, Chris looked back and realized he had paid enough to buy a solid used car just for peace of mind. And most of what Chris held were common products that he could have built himself with much lower fees. I am not saying you never need advice. There are situations where you should hire someone competent, especially if you have multiple income streams, a business, or complicated assets. But for most beginners, what you need first is a simple system. Easy to maintain, low cost, and clear. The more complicated you make it, the easier it is to quit. What does a simple system look like? You have 3 layers. The first layer is emergency money in your checking account and your savings account. Enough so you do not panic when something happens. The second layer is long-term investing, focused on diversified funds, and you contribute consistently over time. The third layer is money for short-term goals, like a rental deposit, car repairs, learning a new skill, or a trip to visit family. You separate these 3 layers so you do not sabotage your own plan. And you use the right tools. If your company offers a workplace retirement plan and a match based on how much you contribute, take that first. It is one of the few times you get a benefit almost immediately. If you qualify, consider an individual retirement account. If you have the right health insurance set up, look into a health savings account so you can prepare for medical costs and optimize taxes. Put simply, if you are already paying federal taxes and state taxes, you have even more reason to understand the legal accounts that let you keep more, instead of letting money slip away without realizing it. Speaking of taxes, here is a tough truth. A lot of beginners only watch prices go up and down and forget that taxes can take a big bite if you trade nonstop. You make $1,000 and think you won. Then tax season shows up and you realize you kept less than you expected because it depends on when you sold and what kind of income it is. You do not need to be an expert. Just remember this. Every time you hit sell, do not only ask how much you made. Ask how much you keep after taxes, after fees, after everything. If what I'm sharing is helping you see investing more clearly, hit like so I know this practical, real-world content is useful. One click from you can help this channel get videos like this to the people who actually need to hear it. Now, the next secret is also the one that changes the most lives. The best investment for beginners is often not in the market. It is in your ability to earn income. How much can you bring in each month? How can you raise your value at work? How can you turn one skill into a side income stream? Those things often have a much higher return than sitting there guessing whether the market will go up or down over the next few weeks. Sarah is a perfect example. Sarah works an office job. The income is stable, but there is not much left over. Sarah wants to invest, but her starting capital is small. Instead of trying to get rich quick, Sarah spends 3 months learning a skill her company is short on, then asks to move into a higher-paying role. Sarah increases her income by a few $100s a month. When her income goes up, Sarah does not raise her spending to match. Sarah increases her steady contributions to long-term investing. After 1 year, the biggest change is not the market. The biggest change is her ability to contribute. And that is the real engine. If you want investing to feel easier, make your cash flow stronger. If you want discipline to feel easier, make your budget more breathable. If you want to sleep better, build a life that does not depend on whether the market is green or red tomorrow. And here is the last secret. It sounds simple, but it is hard to do. You have to design a way to play so you do not have to rely on willpower every day. Willpower is thin. One day you are tired. One day you argue with someone you love. One day work pressure hits. And suddenly you do the dumbest thing possible with your money. So you automate. You set up automatic transfers right after payday. Some goes to savings. Some goes to long-term investing. You schedule a monthly check-in, not an hourly one. You limit how much news you consume. You do not let social media drive your decisions. You turn investing into a habit, like brushing your teeth. You do not need emotions to do it. You do it because that is the kind of person you want to become. I want you to remember one line before you click away. Beginners look for secrets to win fast. People who build lasting wealth look for principles to avoid stupid losses. When you avoid stupid losses, time does the rest. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to be clear-headed enough to not go all in on one gamble, disciplined enough to contribute steadily, humble enough to choose simple, and patient enough to let money grow at its natural pace. That is the investing secret beginners hate hearing because it does not excite you, but it sets you free.